All right, let's do this. It's Wednesday. Everybody knows what Wednesdays are all about. Wednesdays about live in the tribe in my free Facebook group, Tom the Trainer's Tribe. So if you're watching this live, always comment live. If you're catching the replay, comment replay. Maybe it'll mean that I can do some live trainings at different times, depending on the times of which that I see people commenting on these lives. So that would be extremely helpful, especially if you're getting any value from my content. Comment and let me know. Maybe I'll switch up the times to do these trainings for everybody. So definitely comment live if you're here now so I can see who's all here, as well as comment replay later. So, excuse me, exciting stuff today. Pardon me, exciting stuff today. We are actually live on LinkedIn today. So if you are watching this on LinkedIn, you can check the link in the bio to join Tom the Trainer's Tribe, because we will answer questions for you. So if you have any questions as it relates to your fitness goals, join Tom the Trainer's Tribe, because I will be happy to share my insights with you and provide you with the best advice that I can possibly give with the information I have on your questions in the live Q&As. So I'm just looking to grab the live Q&A here. And while I'm doing so, I'm just going to tag everybody in Tom the Trainer's Tribe so that they see that we are up and we are live. And I just got to find the tribe is absolutely bumping. So I have a hard time finding the posts now when everybody's in on. So all right, everybody. So if we are watching this live, make sure you comment live. And if you're watching the replay, comment replay. Just give me a second here while I have a look and see that everybody is on. If you have questions, you can ask your questions in the comments. You can comment on any of the platforms that you're seeing this on, and I will answer your questions for you there. And we'll get to them towards the end there. Okay. So let's see how this goes. Having a look. All right, guys. So, all right. Change of plans, actually. So today's actually going to be a live training, and if you're catching this in the podcast, listening to the podcast after the fact, check the bio and join Tom the Trainer's Tribe. Check the link in the description and join Tom the Trainer's Tribe. So what I want to talk to you about today is actually, I'm literally just going to run off the cuff on this one today. Apparently everybody in the tribe has had all their questions in the preceding weeks to this. So I'm literally just going to kind of run off of the cuff on this, and everybody watch it go. Okay. So, today's episode of the Tom the Trainer Fitness Podcast, I want to talk to you about reducing stress. Okay. And the reason that I want to talk to you about reducing stress is because we all know that we need to be in a calorie deficit to get in shape, right? We need to, in order to lose body fat, we need to burn more calories than what we actually consume in a day. But burning calories is a little bit more complicated than just like how much you move per se, how much activity you have in the day, and how much you eat. It's more complicated than that, right? So there is a negative impact on burning calories if your stress levels are too high, due to the effects of cortisol, which is a stress hormone. Okay. So today, what I want to talk to you about is like really simple tactics and possibly some indicators to look out for in order to make sure that your stress levels stay optimal so that you are burning calories in order to have a big transformation. Okay. So, first and foremost, life is full of stress. Life is full of stressors. Every single thing that we do in our life contributes to stress on our central nervous system. Okay. We've got our family, we've got pets. I've got lots of pets. So, pet lovers, what's up? We got family, we got pets, we got work. Maybe we run a business. We're an entrepreneur like myself, right? And then we have our friends and we have our social commitments. And then let's be honest, nobody goes through life without like some level of drama, I guess I would say, right? So I believe that if you want to be the best version of yourself, you have to think about more than just like how you look physically and how you feel physically, but you also have to really focus on how you feel mentally. And when you're focusing on how you feel mentally to keep your stress and your anxiety levels low, you're going to look better in the process. Does that make sense, everybody? So, when it comes to lowering stress, just like anything else that I do in my life, I like to take an extremely proactive approach. Okay. I am all about systems and structure. Everything I do in my life is about systems and structure. And don't get me wrong, there may be times where I feel as though that I need to change my systems or I need to change my structure, or maybe sometimes I just kind of feel like I'm holding on for dear life to manage everything that's going on in life. And I know you all feel that. So it's not about being perfect, right? But if we are planned, the likelihood of us having a more perfect approach or an approach closer to perfect is highly, highly more likely, right? So here are the things that I personally like to do to keep my stress levels low. And I'll start with just like my lifestyle habits. Okay. So first and foremost, I've talked about this often is like try to go to bed and wake up every single day at the same time. Start your day off on a positive vibe. Start your day off on a stress-free vibe. And the best way that you can do that is to make sure that you go to bed the evening before. Because how many of us listening to this right now have literally had a tendency to hit snooze, okay? Or often sleep in. Maybe we stay up later and we wind up like catching that extra episode of, I don't know, Yellowstone or 1883 or whatever the hot show is right now. I don't watch a lot of television, but we stay up late to watch a little bit of extra television because we feel as though that like we deserve that relaxation, right? And we do. We deserve to have, we deserve to be in a relaxed state in our life. But we deserve to be in a relaxed state more than just that end of the day when we're watching our favorite television show. We should literally be living in a relaxed state as often as possible. Okay. So I believe the number one way that you can lower stress in your days and in your life is to just like get up early enough and on time every single day so that you start your day not scrambling to get to work on time, to get the kids out the door, to eat your breakfast, and all of those things. Okay. It's kind of contradictive when we stay up later to relax, to watch a television show, only to make it so that when we wake up in the morning, we're like, oh shit, I'm running late. I don't have time for a shower. Or, you know, oh, I don't have time to eat. I got to get the kids out the door. And we start in this, like, we start our day in this like anxious state. And I believe how you start, like, think about it this way is like, if you want to have, like, you can look at your day. Your day is a life event. Every day is a life event, right? How you start every single event in your life definitely dictates how enjoyable or how the rest of that event goes, right? Have any of us maybe, I don't know, gone to a concert or gone to some event and we were running late and we're scrambling to get to our seats and we missed the first couple of songs and then we're upset because we missed the first couple of songs and then like it just kind of like ruined the whole experience? It's because how we started this thing dictated how the rest of that would go, right? So the number one thing that I think you can do to lower your stress levels is to get up every single day on time, early, giving yourself plenty of time to start your day with Zen. Okay. So when I get up in the morning, my alarm goes off. Now what I do is I take the dog out first thing in the morning, and then I give her food. I put her in the crate. I feed the cats, pour myself a big glass of water. I put on some BS podcasts in the background. I eat my breakfast. Everything's calm and mellow, and I drive to work. Okay. So that's how I like to start my day. And I start my day off with low levels of stress, low anxiety, and it can carry into the rest of my day. From there, the next thing that I think is really, really important to do is to like set boundaries around your time and be focused in your day. Okay. That means that like getting distracted by these things, although we feel as though is like maybe lowering our stress because it's distracting us from something that we should be doing instead, creates more stress because those things that we need to do instead still need to be done. And all these things are doing when we're letting it them own our days is just literally distract us from what we need to do when we need to do it, which means now the thing that we had time to do in our day, we no longer have time to do. And therefore, we're working later or we're doing it rushed. And yet again, we have a higher level of anxiety, right? So you need to set boundaries around your time and actually do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. And the best way to do that is to schedule your days. Okay. Be very, very intentional about every single minute of your day. From there as well, take like mental breaks throughout your day. Okay. So a lot of people work desk jobs, sedentary jobs, things like that. A lot of us are working on computers and those kinds of things. Regardless of what we're doing in our work environment, I believe that we should take little 5 to 10 minute breaks as frequently as every hour. Okay. Whether that means like you get up and you go to the bathroom or you walk up and down the stairs in your building or you go out for a walk, every hour or so, you should literally like take a moment to step away from the thing that you're doing and reset your brain and then come back to it at a later time because you're fresh. Okay. Because like we do suffer from like cognitive fatigue. Okay. And cognitive fatigue causes us to feel stressed and overwhelmed. Okay. It's no different than like, how would you feel physically if you literally got up in the morning and you ran on a treadmill all day long, right? By the end of that day, you're going to be hanging on for dear life. You're going to be moving extremely slow and you're going to be worn out, right? But if you were to, like, I don't know, go for a 30-minute walk and then 30 minutes later go for another 30-minute walk, would you feel worn out from the day physically? No. Well, it's kind of the same thing with your brain. Take those little breaks in the day. So I use something called a Pomodoro technique. And what I do with the Pomodoro technique is I set an alarm to go off after 50 minutes of focused, really, really focused work. And when that alarm goes off, I take 10 minutes away. I go take the dog for a walk. I eat some food. I do something to pull myself out of that cognitive state where I'm having to think and be sharp. Okay. Next up, I think it's absolutely crucial that we are active throughout our day. Okay. We're active throughout our day and we're drinking water. So if you're getting 10,000 steps per day and you're drinking a lot of water, as I take a sip of water, if you are dehydrated and you're not drinking enough water, you're going to experience brain fog, right? So it's important to drink a lot of water throughout the day. I suggest 3 liters. And our brain is wired for movement. Our brain is not wired for like regular burst of high intense physical activity. That's generally a stress signal because it means we're like running away from a cheetah or something. But our brain is wired to maneuver through our environment, recognize risks and things like that, as far as like we're looking at things as a very innate brain function, right? Like through evolution, we were scavenging around looking for food and watching out for threats. So if you can keep your step count up, you will feel mentally clearer throughout your day. And if you're mentally clearer throughout your day, then when you go to do things that take cognitive function, you're going to be more efficient and effective at accomplishing those things. And you're going to be able to do them in faster time. And then if you get them done in faster time, that means that you got that thing done and you can move on to the next thing. And you don't feel that feeling of overwhelm, like your plate's always overflowing with the things that you need to do in the day. Because when you need to focus, you can focus. And you can focus because you're drinking enough water and you're managing an active day. Like your step count is up around 8 to 10,000 steps per day, right? So those are all things that are going to kind of like lower stress and lower anxiety. And then the other thing that I think is extremely, extremely crucial that I talk about often is like comes back to boundaries again, setting boundaries at the end of your day to be present with your family. And I have a tactic that I call letting down my guard, where what I do with that is I go into the driveway and I deal with everything that I need to deal with that's work related. I answer text messages from friends, all those things. And then I put my phone down and I go in the house. When I go in the house, I've asked boundary wise that my family gives me a moment to get in the house and like get my work clothes off, maybe go have a shower and like be able to like decompress and get out of my zone before they come telling me about their days. Okay. Because I want to hear about their days. But how many of us have come in from a long work day and we come in the door and our partner is like, hey, guess what happened today? Or our kid is like, hey, guess what happened today? And you're like, I'm still trying to comprehend what happened in my day. And they tell you, and none of it registers, and you're not present. And then they feel as though that like you're not listening and you want to listen, but you just don't have the mental bandwidth at the time. So set boundaries and communicate those boundaries to your family of like, hey, when I come home, I just need like, give me just 5 minutes to decompress. And I'm going to leave all my work and all my stress out in the driveway. And I envision as I'm like taking off my clothes, getting ready to go have my shower at the end of the night, that each piece of clothing is a piece of my day that I'm letting go of. Then I go have my shower and then I come out and I'm present and I can be present and I can be focused on the things my family are telling me. Right. And I don't have that anxiety when they're trying to tell me things because I feel still overwhelmed from my own day. Right. And then lastly, what I would say is like I talked about it a little bit in the beginning is limiting your screen time. And that also means limiting your TV time. Okay. Because let's face it, like we all have extremely busy lives, right? Gone are the days where you could live in a world where one of the members of the household was bringing in an income that was going to take care of the family's financial needs while the other partner was staying at home and working towards keeping the house in check. Well, now all of us like literally need to do everything, right? And if you get home at the end of your day and you have your dinner, and your priority after dinner is literally, it's time for me to put my feet up, all the things that you need to do around the house are going to pile up, and therefore they're going to cause you more stress, and they're going to cause you more anxiety. And then you're going to feel as though that you just can't keep a hold of it all. Right. So limit your TV time at the end of your days and check one thing off, like check one box off every day, right? Whether that means you're just like throwing in a load of laundry, or, you're loading the dishes, or like whatever it is, you're checking off one box per day, one minor little task per day. Check that, check that box off, check that task off. And then you can watch your television show and you can relax and you can wind down for, say, like the last hour, hour and a half of your day. Because if you don't do that and you're anything like me, you're just going to be trying to watch that television show, and you're going to be thinking like, oh, the laundry needs to be done, and like that needs to be done, and this needs to be done, and I'm just sitting here watching television. I got to do all these things. Then you're stressing out watching TV because you're not taking care of your responsibilities, and that will lead to that, right? So these are all things that I do to lower stress. And I talked about getting up on time earlier in this episode, but like it's also important to think about limiting your sleep time. Okay. And I don't mean limiting your sleep time below 7 hours per day. You should prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep per day. I believe 7 to 8. But like if you're running you're running on a wheel where you are undersleeping on your days of which that you go to work, and you're only getting 5 to 6 hours of sleep, right? And then on your days off, you're crashing for 12 hours to catch up. Think of all that time that you wasted because that you would normally be taking care of things around the house or other responsibilities that are non-work related. All that time is wasted because you slept an additional 3, 4, however many hours on your day off. But if you can regulate your sleep where you consistently get 7, 8 hours of sleep every single night on your days off away from work, you won't waste that time sleeping because you've put boundaries around your sleep. You won't waste that time sleeping to catch up because you've been running exhausted all week, and you'll be able to tackle the things that you need to do around the house and the shopping and the responsibilities that are non-work related. Okay. And then obviously, podcast is Tom the Trainer Fitness. Make sure that you're incorporating fitness in your life as well, right? It is an amazing stress reliever. And many people may feel as though that it's hard, but it's only hard if you don't have all these other things that I'm talking about in check. Okay. If you're going to bed and you're waking up every single day at the same time, and you're prioritizing all your other responsibilities, and you're staying focused with your time, right? And you have boundaries around your brain power and the things that you're focusing on. You take little mini breaks to stay fresh. You get a nice step count. Your energy levels are going to be up. You're going to be a highly accomplished individual, and you will have time to do a few workouts per week as well, right? Anybody who says that they don't have time to work out just means that they haven't prioritized the things that they need to do in order to have time to actually work out. Okay. And it's going to lower stress. But guess what's not going to lower your stress? Grabbing a glass of wine and watching 3 episodes of Yellowstone, right? Or whatever television show that it is that you like, right? So these are the things that I like to do to lower stress. These are the things that I like to obviously teach to my clients if they're in a state of high stress. And the number one most important thing that you can take away from this episode today is the only way that this stuff works is if you implement it. So if you were listening to this and you heard a bunch of things that you need to implement to lower stress, Don't stress yourself out and try to implement them all at the same time. Just implement one and just implement like 1 or 2 a week. A priority number 1 should be regulating your sleep. Because if you can regulate your sleep, the rest of it is all pretty easy to fall in place, because the majority of us are stressed because we feel as though we don't have enough time. Does that make sense? So, if you're listening to this on the podcast and you found this helpful, please give me a 5-star review, share this to your socials, and make sure that this information gets out to others. I hope that you found this useful. This was literally just like off the cuff. You listened to Tom, the trainer, ramble, talk about a topic of stress today, and come hang out in Tom the Trainer's Tribe. The link will be in the description. And anybody who's watching this on any of my other socials, I have all kinds of amazing trainings in my podcast, Tom the Trainer Fitness, on Spotify, YouTube, all the streaming platforms, all the podcast platforms. Go check them out. There's tons of really useful information. And I swear that they're usually a little bit more organized than this. I just took messy action today. I talk about messy action all the time. It's a key to success. There wasn't a ton of questions today, so I just went off the cuff. Hope you're all having the best day ever. Take care.